Hey everybody, it's Zane here. First off, I just want to say sorry if there's any sound scratching in this video or anything like that, or if the microphone sounds weird. I'm just using my headset microphone, and sometimes I'm trying to get my computer fixed, but yeah, it's making some sound issues sometimes. So anyway, I just wanted to make a video today talking about enhancement, shaman, and solo shuffle, and just a few more basic mechanical things. I'm not going to say, oh, set up your key bindings how I have mine set up, or use the add-ons that I have. It's purely just going to be some mechanical plays of how to play enhancement shaman, because again, everybody plays differently, and I'm sure there's a lot more efficient ways to play than how I play. But it's just going to be some things that I've learned. So I am currently, I'm 1850, or 1885. I know that's not super high, but my highest I've gotten so far is Rival 2, so I've gotten up to the 1950s before. So again, not super high, but I'm not super low either, just kind of in the mid. This is kind of a thing that I've learned as I've gone along. So anyways, one of the biggest things that I've learned as I've gone into the upper ranks is using a lot of your abilities almost on cooldown. Not exactly on cooldown, but as much as on cooldown as you can make it. Because the shaman role, we are a DPS role, but I kind of think of us as the assistant manager to the DPS and the assistant manager to the healer at the same time, right? We're trying to follow our DPS and what they want to do, because generally your other DPS is going to do more damage than you, or at least they should be able to. If they're not, that's kind of a problem. And your healer is going to be wanting you to help do interrupts and possibly CC. Well, definitely CC, but depending on target. So anyway, you're kind of the assistant manager to both. It is kind of a weird thing to get used to, because Shaman is that jack of all trades. We're not the highest DPS dealer. We're not the highest healer. We're not the best CC'er. We just have a mixed bag of these tools. If we use it, creates a very effective environment, but it's a little bit in each area. It's not going to be purely one thing. Again, we are a DPS role though, so your main focus is getting your damage rotation down. There's plenty of videos of that on YouTube from Skillstruct and other people that PvP, and if you're also looking for a talent build, you can look that up on wowhead. So I'm not really going to talk about those either. The biggest thing that I'm going to be talking about today, well, the first thing is interrupts. So I have my target interrupt right here, and then I have my focus interrupt right there. Some people have more. They have it set to interrupt arena run, interrupt arena 2, and interrupt arena 3, things like that, so that they can press one button for each of those. But that starts to get more into really keybind heavy. There's a lot of button bloat there. So again, not really focusing on that either. It's just the mechanics. So you'll want to get better at using your kick, that's the common terminology for interrupt, on either your primary target or your focus. It kind of depends on who you should be interrupting more often, or just at that time in the situation. For example, if your DPS, your DPS opponent is not low in health, but is somebody, say, like a frost mage, it'll be good to interrupt them, because you don't want them to be able to get off global cooldowns while you're damaging them. But let's say they're low in health, then you'll probably want to use your interrupt on their healer, who's more likely going to be use hard casting spells that are going to heal bigger for that opponent. So just keep that in mind. That's kind of how I think of it. Again, it depends on the situation. It's not perfect, this time use this and this time use this, but that's the general idea. Keep the one that you're targeting from being able to stop you from having uptime on them, and then once they're low enough in health, stop their healer from being able to heal them. That's kind of where you're at when it comes to interrupts. If you're fighting Frost Mage, you'll want to interrupt Polymorph as much as you can. You'll probably want to save your interrupts for that. Or if you've got a Druid somewhere, you'll want to focus them to using your interrupt on them for Cyclones. So again, you always want to use your cooldown first. It's got 12-second cooldown. Relatively, that's actually one of the shortest kick cooldowns in the game. And then you have stuff like Grounding Totem. So Grounding Totem is, it interrupts direct cast spells. So if somebody's like if a mage is casting Ring of Fire, it's not going to interrupt or like dispel that or catch it. It's only like if they cast Fireball or something like that, or I don't even think it's called Fireball. I don't play mage, but what any direct spells against you like Chaos Bolt or Fears or something like that, it will catch those. Again, you do have different totems, so if you miss a Fear with your interrupt, like your interrupt's on cooldown, then I wouldn't cast Grounding Totem unless you know it's being targeted at you. I would just lay Grounding Totem if it's targeting somebody else on your team. So that way it's not as big of a deal. And then you can save your Grounding Totem for a Chaos Bolt or some other big hitting spell that they're going to throw at you. The other thing, so after you interrupt and kicking focuses and you're staying on your damage rotation, is CC. So Shamans have a few different CC abilities. Your biggest ones are going to be like Earth Grab Totem and your Hex. You do have slows with Frost Shock and Ice Strike, and after you've used your Maelstrom weapon stackers or spenders, then this will spread. So it's really good if you have more than one target next to each other. You can slow both. So this is just another good CC. This is Thunderstorm slows. Then of course there's your main single target stun, which is Lightning Lasso. Lightning Lasso is another good interrupt for high health targets. So again, if somebody's using a high health, or if your target is high health and somebody else is using another spell, again, that you want to interrupt, and you don't have your kick, and you don't have Grounding Totem, or you don't have Tremor Totem, then stuns are a good way to go to stop them from casting that spell, and to just another good interrupt, and it's also going to damage them. And it will stop. It just generally is a good thing. Mostly, though, you'll want to focus, like save your stun for when the healer is CC'd, say from Hex or Polymorph or something like that, where they're stunned. Then you can stun the DPS target, and they can't get out of it, and they can't get healed, and they're getting damaged. I like to get them, like if they're really low with this, and I have Maelstrom weapon spenders, get them really low, and they just immediately kill them with that. Okay. So that's kind of just a basic rundown, is again focusing on kicks. So just kicking almost on cooldown. It kind of depends on bigger spells being spent, but you don't want to keep your eyes just on the cast bar the whole time. So you'll want to place it on your screen somewhere where you can see the cast bar very easily, so you don't have to keep your focus there. I keep my target and my focus right here, just so you can see that. You can see where I have that. So I just have focus right here in case, let's say I'm hitting him and focus is going to cast Cyclone, then just press my mouse button 4 and he's interrupted. But again, let's say it's Resto Shaman or Resto Druid and Frost Mage, and they're going to cast Polymorph. So let's say interrupt the Druid, and then they're casting Polymorph. Then you throw down your Grounding Totem and it'll catch it. Let's say, after the interrupt, the Druid casts that again. You can Lightning Lasso them while your opponent is staying on them. There's quite a few different things you can do. So, anyways, hope that helps for some basic Shaman mechanics. That was just stuff that I've learned over time. Again, I'm not saying what add-ons to use or anything like that. If you do want to use add-ons, go ask people on the forums, ask people in your guild what add-ons they use for PvP. Join a PvP guild. They'll be very helpful for things like that. So, anyways, this is Zane again. Thanks everybody for watching.